All right. He's in Southern California. It looks like the nation's focus is on Southern California ever since those 3 buses were turned back by protesters down in Murrieta, California. We told you about it. Well, as it turns out, 3 more buses were supposed to go there but didn't. 5 people were arrested there. The big suggestion now is, where's this thing going?
And then a new explosive report in the New York Times over the weekend saying that just since April, some 240,000 illegals have flooded the United States, going through our borders, filtering through Mexico, many of them from South America. And so you're wondering, where's the president on this? Is he simply, is this falling on deaf ears? I remember hearing last week that he's going to be in Texas this week for a fundraiser and thinking, surely they just haven't worked out the logistics on this, right? Well, on all the Sunday shows yesterday, it doesn't seem like the tune is changing much, except now there are several Democrats that are even calling for him to come to the border. So the chorus is joining, getting a bit louder. But the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson on with David Gregory yesterday, and he had this to say: President can't be in 2 places at once.
President need to go to the border? Should he visit when he goes there this week?
The president can't be every place he'd like to be or even should be.
The president's grounding it back to immigration reform. We got to get immigration reform, and the Republicans in the House are stopping all this. But they're 2 entirely separate issues. The question is, why are all these families coming? Why are all these children coming? It's amazing. 26,000 kids without parents showed up in 2013. I thought that was high. Then you see, since 2014, you got among those 140,000, 50,000 kids are showing up. They're going in between trains. They're hanging on top of trains to go transverse the middle of Mexico, and next thing you know, they end up on the border with strangers. The violence is through the roof. The diseases are rampant. These kids are saying these kids are defenseless once they arrive here, if they arrive here healthy. So the trend has to stop. I think what scares me is I sense people, instead of trying to find answers here, are going to go, well, look, Republicans are anti-Hispanic. That's the problem. They don't want kids here. When the bigger issue is, why are they coming and why are they coming now? And even for a Democrat, a congressman who happens to be in a border state, he can't even play politics. He understands the federal government is letting everybody down.
It'd be nice for him to come down to the border, but again, without due respect, I think he's still 1 step behind. They knew this was happening a year ago, last year, and again, they're just they're not reacting fast enough at this time, in my personal opinion.
Reacting fast enough? They're, you know, if an 8-year-old kid can come across our southern border, how porous is it? Well, the answer is really. So many people are so concerned about, if we're a sovereign nation, we need to have solid borders so that people can't just go zip across. But right now, that's the situation down south. Martha Raddatz was hosting one of the chat shows yesterday over on ABC, and she sat down with the governor, Rick Perry, who was on this program just middle of last week, where Governor Perry said that if the president is going to be in Texas for some fundraisers, he should go ahead and come on over. Well, the president, through Jay Johnson, said he's not going to be able to do that, as you just heard. Nonetheless, Martha Raddatz takes the role, some would say, as an administration surrogate, essentially, to skewer Rick Perry, who would like to see a secure border.
Do you really believe there's some sort of conspiracy to get people into the United States by the federal government, by the Obama administration?
When I have written a letter that is dated May of 2012, and I have yet to have a response from this administration, I will tell you they either are inept or don't care. And that is my position. We have been bringing to the attention of President Obama and his administration since 2010. He received a letter from me on the tarmac. He sends. I have to believe that when you do not respond in any way, that you are either inept or you have some ulterior motive of which you are functioning from.
So it's discouraging to him, to say the least. And he says you just don't understand why having secure borders is even anything political, why the president wouldn't do it. You got to go into those countries, like Senator Lindsey Graham brought up, and say, listen, you know the aid we're giving you? It's going to stop unless you stop sending your people here, because we can't take, we already spend $34 billion on illegals. We don't have the money in our budget to continue. We love people, but we can't have them all in the United States. States. It's just impossible. There's an application process that needs to be reformed. I think Republicans are dropping the ball on that. But one statement that happened over the weekend just staggered me, and that is evidently the administration sent people out, Benghazi style, to start talking about what's going on at the border. It's no big deal. This commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection said, don't worry, we're sending another 150 agents to the Rio Grande Valley. That's supposed to solve things? And then Jay Johnson says, don't worry about it. We have a way of stemming the tide of immigrants. We're going to be able to stem the tide. No way how. We're just going to stem the tide.
And if there's not a problem, then why aren't we able to tour these facilities? Why aren't congressmen in these border states even allowed to? Why is the video and pictures that we're getting so scant? Todd Starnes from Fox News Radio has got an exclusive for us. He's got some sources on the ground there telling him that the cases of tuberculosis now confirmed at the border. And this is a problem because it is so contagious. I mean, it just spreads from person to person, and the rate is 15 times that among South Americans as it is here in the United States.
All right.
It's troubling.
13 minutes now after the hour. Here